Welcome in, guys. It is another book talk day. We're here with the amazing S.C. Nielsen, the writer of Curse of the Siren. This is a fun book. Our
Thank you.
people, we were reading this. So I will say this is probably the spiciest book that we've read in our book club. We typically don't go super spicy because some people's spice tolerance is not necessarily the most what's the word
That's okay.
acceptable. I don't care. I'm good. Like, I can go further. I'm fine. But but it was one of those things where I was just like, I want to talk to you, and I was just like, well, screw it. We'll just do it. We'll just do it. We'll just accept some spice in our lives here. We didn't get a lot of complaints. We're good. It was a great book. We definitely did love it. So there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk to you about without spoiling, because just in case somebody wants to read the book. So yeah, we do appreciate your time coming in here, and we want to thank you with that.
I'm very excited.
Shoot. Oh, she's Chet's like, she's one of those people that looks very innocent but really isn't. So tell us a little bit about Curse of the Siren, how you got the idea, because this is your debut novel, and
Yes.
you're already making us very sad because we have to wait for book 2. And but give us an idea of what your thought process was, what brought you into this book.
Okay, so I grew up on kind of just traditional like quest style fantasy. Like I love adventure and quests, and most of them were probably ones that a lot of us have read that are written by men. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I love these stories, but then I finally like started dipping my toe into the ones that were getting a little bit spicier. I felt like it added a little bit more to the package, and I wanted to explore that route. And something about sirens just really drew me in, but I wanted to explore the side that, like, yes, it's a lot of fun when we think about sirens and like succubus type stories where they get to do all these spicy things and stuff like that. But I wanted to kind of explore an alternate where it was kind of a bit of a problem for them. So I thought that would be really fun to like explore like maybe some awkward situations that it would put them in, and also the challenges that this character would face having that ability.
I can see that, especially when early on in the book, dealing with Owen. I was just like, oh man, this is awkward. It's
Yeah,
awkward,
poor
but in
guy.
the we love Owen though. Owen, we stand
Yes,
Owen. We stand Owen in this
yes,
household.
yes, we love him.
N-
Excuse me.
not not so much Luke. You've written some characters that like I'm torn with, especially at the end of the book. At the end of the book, I'm
Yeah.
not sure, because like you wrote some characters that like were kind of dickish,
Hmm.
and then they progressed and became more dickish, but then we got to a revelation, and then we had to question our level of dickish.
Yes.
There's basically a
Like,
way
how
to
much
explain that.
will we tolerate knowing all of the things?
Yes. Like,
Yes.
where did it begin and where did it end, and where how much blame do we assign on one person and not on another person?
Hmm.
And it was like,
And and for those of you, as we're dancing around this, who did read the whole thing, you still bear in mind that even though this person has circumstances, he still genuinely dislikes this other person. So his motives are probably a little skewed still.
yeah, he never warmed to Bronwyn, like,
Hmm.
at all. Like, he was very dismissive of her the entire time. So it's very easy to not like him. And
Yeah.
then there becomes a situation where he might become a little bit more sympathetic than you would want him to be, but he's still firmly a dick.
Yes.
This is your debut novel. How hard has it been to promote your book and get your book out there? Especially, you unfortunately were one of the people that kind of got swept in with some bad events. We're talking about Once Upon a
Yes.
Con, and so like you've been on that bad end of things, and
Yes.
becomes a very disheartening thing. So like, what has some of your struggles been promoting the book and running into pitfalls that we typically deal with as independent authors, but also the pitfalls that are no fault of our own.
Yeah, so I would say with marketing, two things. I think that there is a level of, unfortunately, like luck involved with some things. I it took me 15 months from starting my draft to publication to finish The Curse of the Siren. And when it released, I just happened to be during like a Siren boom. There were other Siren stories coming out. I think it was Books, Gowns, and Crowns had like a Siren theme, like their event was Siren themed. Like it was very like fortuitous. And I didn't plan that. I'm not a fast enough writer to be like, oh, sirens are going to be big. I'm going to write a siren book. Like, so I think I got lucky on that front. And so a lot of people were interested in my book because sirens were becoming hot, even though I did take a little bit of a unique twist on them. My challenges, I think we all realized very quickly that marketing takes a lot of time and a lot of energy away from like work that you want to be doing on the actual book. And that is a challenge because you want to find your readers for these books that you're writing, but you have to also write the book. So balancing that time was very difficult. Yes, I did go to Once Upon a Con, and a lot of events unfolded that I didn't see, like that were kind of behind the scenes because I was at my booth.
Hmm.
But me personally, I made a lot of really good connections and I had a good time. So it is very unfortunate that that happened. I did lose money on the doubloons, like all the other authors, but
Yeah, the doubloons were kind of a.
yeah.
But that's actually how you got onto my radar. So I mean, if there is a silver lining to that, I was popping on to one of your lives. It was you, it was JD Laubach, and I think Sam.
Sam. Hmm.
Yeah. So like we were talking, we were just hanging out in that TikTok live, and I was just like, "Are you guys okay?" And you're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we're fine now," because like I guess like it hadn't really hit the authors that hard yet. Like a lot
Yeah.
at that point, a lot of the problems were on the cosplay side and things like that. So like it
Hmm.
hadn't really kind of hit you guys yet. And we were talking, and and Sam was just like, "Oh, you should talk to these authors," and I was just like, "Noted." We'll get to that. So we've already had JD on earlier. She was
Hmm.
on a couple months ago with Smoke and Mirrors, and then I was just like, "Well, we need to get to Essie now." And
Yes.
and then they hit you up, and you were just like, "Yes, I would love to do that." I'm like, "Good." You'd be surprised. Every now and then, it's an author. Some authors are a little bit more introverted than others, so I get it. I'm never going to complain about it. They didn't talk to us. I get that. Sometimes they can't. There's only so much bandwidth. Everybody only has a certain number of spoons, and sometimes we don't get one of those spoons. So
Yeah.
I understand that. But I do appreciate you being here for that.
Hmm.
So yeah, like I said, you have a lot of unique ideas with this. So also being an indie author, and this is something I'm kind of going through myself. I loved your audiobook.
Oh,
Your
thank
audiobook,
you.
top notch. Um,
Yes. Stephanie's great.
she is really, really good. I believe I've heard her from some other stories too. Her voice sounds familiar, so it's just like, okay, that was really easy. It helped me kind of like pop into the story much
Hmm.
faster. So how did that come about? Because I know like a lot of people don't realize the costs that go into audiobooks, because
Hmm.
audiobooks not cheap. For anybody
No.
not realizing what's going on, people are just like, why don't you guys have an audiobook? Look,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
problems involved with audiobooks, and we'll let you talk about your own struggles, how that came about, because again, I really appreciate it, and I'm kind of glad that we got you on a little bit later because your audiobook just came out like I think last month or 2 months
Yeah, it
ago.
did. It came out recently. It was November 11th.
Hmm.
Yes. So the time is flying for sure. I think I have kind of a unique experience with this. I started, my husband and I, when I started this book, we kind of knew like probably weren't going to like make money on this book. So anything that was coming in, we were just going to put right back into it and like trying to find my readers, that wanted to read the book. And so we started talking audiobooks and he's like, yeah, let's go for it. And so I put out an audition on ACX, which is Amazon slash like Audible's platform where you can find narrators that will audition to read your book. And I put an excerpt up there, and I would say within 48 hours, I had over 100 auditions, which I was really excited about. I don't know like enough from my peers if that's normal or not, but I was very excited.
That's awesome.
And I went through and I narrowed it down to like 4 of them. And then I had like me and my husband and then my teenage son kept listening to them, and they're like noting like which ones we liked different things about. And ultimately, I ended up picking Stephanie K, which this is a bit of lore that I haven't shared publicly, which is kind of cool. In Stephanie's audition, she like wrote a note. She said, "I have a feeling that you're going to get picked up, and if you do, I would still like to do this, just still like to work with you." Which I was like, "Oh, that made me feel good, right?" You know? And so I picked her, and we got on the books. I hadn't made a payment yet, but we were like planning. And then I got an email very shortly after from Ryan Nuzzo from Tantor Media about my audio rights. And he asked me who currently holds my audio rights. And I said, I do. And they wanted to make an offer. And I was home alone when I got this email. And then so I was like, this is fake. You know, because we get a lot of fake emails.
Yeah, we do.
And so I started like researching, deep diving, looking into him. Is he real? Is this real? And then I started realizing like, oh my God, I think this is real. And so I'm like home alone, sprinting through my house, like, oh my God, so excited. So then I ended up going with Ryan. So my audio rights were picked up traditionally. So I guess I don't know if that makes me technically hybrid or not, but Tantor Media bought book 1, book 2, and book 3. So we know book 2 and 3 will also be done.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, very exciting, right?
Yeah, definitely. Are those going to be with Stephanie as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Every now there's only I haven't run into it a lot, but I'm a big audiobook. Like audiobooks, like 90% of what I digest as far as books are audiobooks. I was going to read your book anyway, but then Audible was like, "Hey, did you know?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes."
Yes.
Hell yes, let's go do that. And that just made it easier. But yeah, again, like every now and then it's like we'll get a book that I'll have to like physically read, and I don't have any issue with that. But like I am big on audiobooks. So it's really nice to not have to worry about like hearing a voice and then getting another voice later on, because like
Yeah.
that I don't know I don't know if you do audiobooks often, but every now and then you'll come across a book where like I loved book 1 and then book 2 I'm like, who are these people?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
very jarring, and sometimes it doesn't work well.
Yeah. No, Stephanie's great. She loves the story. She messaged me. We message each other sometimes. So yeah, she's very excited.
Good, that's great. That's awesome. Again, I loved this book. The book was awesome. We definitely had some conversations off stream with this book with some of the readers that were reading. It was just like, what do you think about this? And I was just like, this was really nice. I like this. I
Mhm.
liked I liked your characters. I liked August. I liked Bronwyn. I liked the dynamics with them. So let us know how that dynamic comes about, because again, like writing likable characters um tends to be kind of I would say on the easier side, but like the brooding characters can come off very wooden or things like that, and I think that's something that you did very very well of
Oh, thank you.
giving us a broody character, but not like an unlikable broody character. So
Mhm.
what is the difference between writing between Bronwyn and writing between August, and then to a lesser extent Owen and other characters?
Bronwyn, I I love just messy character. I mean, she's a mess. Um, I kind of just a lot of her decisions and things while I was plotting the book are rooted in like her backstory that is all in my mind, you know. But you get pieces of it, you know. She was in the orphanage for a long time, and then kind of her and Owen band together, and they're thieving together for a decade. They live in the same place, so you kind of start to get this picture of like yes, she's a thief and she's on her own, but he still kind of plans the heist. He protects her. Like she's still very uh she, I don't want to say sheltered. She's not sheltered, but you know, she doesn't do stuff that she wants to do. Her life is kind of like planned for her at the moment. And so when I put her out in this world, I was like, she's never been here. Like she doesn't know what to do. Like, and then you have these people like when you leave home and you go to college or whatever, you have this period of like, I'm in a new world and I'm going to do what I want. And, you know, so that was kind of where I was leaning into a little bit with her. She isn't in the mindset of like, I'm going to be this hero and do and like save the world for a majority of the book. She's just like kind of out for herself, for her and Owen in this like dream that they have, you know.
Mhm.
And then for August, I do love a good brooding Fey man, you know. But I think about like, you know, I like to think about if they're that old and like, you know, you get that maturity and I'm like, I want him to be patient with her and not be like immediately like, you're mine, which is a very cool story too. But like, I want him to like care enough about her to give her that independence for a while, you know, because she
Mhm.
needs it. She's,
True.
yeah.
It is always one of those things. It's when we do love a good face story, but
Hmm.
whenever you are dealing with that dynamic, it can always be very lopsided and can very easily fall into a predatory situation,
Hmm.
because of the age power dynamic, with age gaps and things. But I think you handled that very very well. Um, August didn't feel overbearing and kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It was very much, yeah, it was very much like, okay, we'll handle this at your pace. We understand what's going on. I get it, and
Hmm.
I'm not going to push myself on you. Um, he was always very hesitant, and I liked that story. We don't always get that story. Um, we don't always get that understanding, which feels weird. It always feels weird when it's like, oh man, why is this character so understanding? He's 1,000 years old. He should be fine. He should
It should
he should
be.
be he should be, but he's not. It was
Yeah.
um but yeah, it was a great story with those characters, and August was fantastic. I liked his characters, and I do like this situation, and I do. Speaking of JD, she has like a similar feel as far as like parts of your book have that kind of similar feel where you have a character who. For those who don't know, we this isn't really a spoiler. It's in the book. It's on the back of the book. But Bronwyn she's grown up in the regular world, and you don't know what's going on and then suddenly it's just like, oh well, this is something I've heard way off in the distance. We don't know about the Fey world, and I don't know anything about the Fey world. And then once you get there, there's that moment of awe and craziness that like you were in a fish out of water, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think you handled that very well with her character coming into this place with her eyes wide open and loving the expanse of what's going on, and you're giving us such a large world to be able to run through, um
Mhm.
also be able to kind of like step back and live in her head with how those characters would react in those places, and I think you did a wonderful job with that.
Well, thank you, and I love that you guys love Owen. Sometimes he gets some hate, and I'm like, "Oh, he's just such a green flag." Like
I don't think there wasn't really a point where I didn't dislike Owen. I again, he was a character that clearly does love her,
Mhm,
and but he's also very much like, I'm not going to stand in the way if I'm not your choice.
mhm.
Um, there was a lot of understanding with those characters, so there wasn't, for me at least, there wasn't a point where I was like, fuck Owen. Like it just
Yeah.
it didn't really get there. There wasn't the only character that we had that was a fuck that person was um the people that we can't really talk about because they're kind of a linchpin to the storyline. But there's two characters that you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Fuck them both. They
Yep.
suck. They're terrible people.
They are. Yep.
Okay, so we need to know what's going on in the future. So
Okay.
what can you tell us? And I know that everybody gets certain levels of tight-lipped on what is coming out, but this is book 1 in a 3-book series.
Yes.
So what do you have in store for us for book 2? What can you tell us? What can't you tell us? And when do you end our suffering with the second book?
Okay. I'll just start this out right off the bat. I don't have an official release date yet, but I'm looking at this summer. So it's coming up. I don't want to give a specific date and then move it, you know?
I get that.
Yeah.
Trust me. I understand. People are like, when's your book coming out? I'm like, we're gonna say early summer, but I'm not
Uh-huh.
gonna. It's like I want it out by May, but I'm not gonna say it's gonna be out by May.
Yes, like I'd love to give it to you tomorrow, but it's kind of ugly right now. But
I am also in editing hell right now.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yes. Okay, so things to expect without being super spoilery. Okay. We are going to see, okay, as we know, like I've taken a little bit of a unique spin on the Sirens, but if you remember the like when you get to like part 1, part 2, part 3, there's like these little epigraphs that you kind of get like the story of like how the Sirens became.
Mhm.
We are going to like explore that a little bit more and see like the sirens that weren't shielded. So more like traditional, like mermaid style, but not like cute mermaid style, like creepy sirens. So we're gonna have
Okay.
some of those. Um, we are going to get to be in Mabon University a little bit. I'm very
Okay.
excited about those parts. I kind of had this moment. I wrote quite a bit of book 2 twice and scrapped both drafts. And I was having kind of this like crisis of like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? This isn't right. Like you just feel it. This isn't right. And then I like had this moment of like, I'm just like, how do I describe it? I'm having a lot of fun with book 2. Like it's not like silly fun, but like it's fun. If you thought book 1 was a fun time, like there's some fun, a lot of fun in book 2. So still a lot of action. And, you know, I do get a little bit gritty in the action still, if you like that. But yeah, I do have my hook for book 2 is curse to break, a friend to save, a choice must be made. So
Okay. That gives us plenty of, I understand what's going on there.
yeah.
Yeah, that plot reveal was interesting where it was just like, oh yeah, we're fine. Oh shit, we're not fine. Suddenly we're
Yeah.
not fine.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
The books that we read influence how we write from time to time. What have you been reading? What kind of like created the thought process of like, this is where I want to go? And I know you said you talked about books that you grew up with. How much of that lore kind of like shaped your writing style into what it is?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably quite a bit as far as the adventure and like one of my favorite series of all time is The Theft of Sword by Michael J. Sullivan, and it's
I know
very
the author. Heard of the
questy.
author.
It's very good. It is like very quest, and we are going places, and like you are all over the map. I just love that. I love books that take you lots of places where when you're in different regions, it feels different. So I think that I pulled a lot of that from there. And then I think I do have maybe a little bit of inspiration from like from Blood and Ash with like, you probably know where there.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I've heard the stories,
Hmm.
so I understand where you're going with that, and I thought that was another awesome point of the book that was that I loved how it unfolded. And again, it's something we can kind of talk about because it's on the back of the book, so we're fine. Where the book started out as a simple heist, where it's just like, oh, we got to do this one thing and we're good, and then that turned into this epic like quest that you have to deal with. And that was something I wasn't expecting, and I
Yeah.
loved that journey. That journey was fantastic, and obviously it's not quite done. There's a lot that we need to get to. There's 2 other books still.
Mhm.
And, but I do like how you created your path, so to speak. Um, where it's like you're kind of looking through things through the eye of a keyhole, and then at some point during the book, you just open the door and you're just like, by the way, you don't need to stress anymore. Here's the rest of the area. So you did a very good job in that aspect. I loved it because again, you have likable characters, you have unlikable characters when you're not when you don't need them to be likable, but there's a lot of great things that you've done in this book. So we've dealt with and I've probably been vocal about this on TikTok a lot recently. How have you handled some of the pitfalls that we deal with on Book Talk in general? There's tends to be a lot of backlash recently. I think there's always been a backlash, but there tends to be kind of a backlash when you're dealing with anything that has to deal with spice. There's a big anti-intellectual thing going on right now, and I think it's basically just incels angry that that book boyfriends are written better than them. But,
Yeah.
but how do you handle
I
those
do.
pitfalls, and what do you take to heart, and what do you just flat out ignore?
That's a good one. So the group chats are great. Sometimes that stuff is annoying, and with our fellow authors, we'll like maybe rant a little bit, but mostly those aren't my readers anyway, so I don't care. Like, it's they're showing who they are. We don't really probably want to be friends with them anyway.
Yeah, some of them very much feel insufferable.
Yeah.
Like I just dealt with I just made a post recently that actually kind of got a little viral with the one guy that was like that was basically blaming romance for the downfall of reading. It was just like, well, if all you read is romance and romantasy, then they won't print other books. And I'm like, that's stupid.
It's like the number one selling book,
Exactly.
romance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it has been since books became a thing.
Yeah, it's
And
not a new thing. Yeah.
and I do love also that some of the points that he brought up was like, you should read this and you should read this. I was like, those were romance books 50 years ago.
Yeah, you hear these stories about people that are like, you know, in some sad cases, like clearing out grandma's house and stuff, and they find a bunch of romance books and stuff. Like, good for grandma, but they've been this has been a thing for a long time.
Yes, it's been a thing for a very long time. Fabio was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, do we forget about Fabio? People think that like, oh,
I think those covers are coming back. Like I keep seeing more and more of those kind of ones, and it's like I kind of like it. Like
I
I don't
have
think
seen
I'd put one, but maybe like a fun version, but it's kind of like to those specific people that are saying those things, it's like a big middle finger to them, kind of like, well,
very much, yeah. There are a lot
mhm,
of buff guys on books. There
yeah,
definitely are. But we need more flowing hair. We just need we need the
yes,
hair too. Like
hmm,
screw all the gooses that might hit Fabio in the nose. We need more yes,
yeah.
80s hairband. We need the flowing we need Nelson. We don't need Bon Jovi. We need Nelson. We need the long flowing like silky locks, not necessarily the teased 80s stuff because we can leave some of the stuff in the 80s. I may not look it, but I'm an old person and I remember the 80s fondly. I love the 80s. But um yeah, I do love romance books. I love romance books. I love romantasy. They are very easy to read. They're fun to read. They
Yeah.
take you on stories and they actually are very complex. A lot of people are complains like that they're just they're just like sugar. And sure,
Mhm.
there might be a book or two that actually are just like it's fluff, but romantasies are still firmly placed in fantasy. And
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think your book is a very good example of that, where you have like yes, there's spice.
mhm.
It's good spice, but there's also a very big overarching story that you have put together with this book, and your spice is only like this much of the book. This is a thick book. For those who have not
Oh
read it,
yeah,
it's a thick boy. It's a thick boy, just shy of 500 pages,
Yeah.
and you've got like 10 pages of it that
Yeah.
are that might have some spice into it. So like you're looking at about a 3 to 4 minute scene in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. And back to that, like people wanting to call it less than or like junk food or anything like that. Um, doesn't I don't take that too much to heart either because I want people to have a good time with my book. Like I wrote it because I want it to be fun. Like I want that fantasy adventure in there. Like I like having a strong underlying plot, but like I want it to be fun. Like, and if that's junk food, then so be it. Like,
Yeah. And it's such a weird argument too, because like junk food tastes so fucking good.
yeah.
Like we wouldn't want junk food if it tasted like broccoli.
Yeah.
It's just it's the thing that just came to my mind. It was just like broccoli. Yeah, that's the opposite of junk food.
Yeah.
Give me an idea of what it's like being a debut author, because like so for background from me, my fantasy novel will be coming out potentially May, but realistically this summer. It'll be my debut fantasy novel. I've What does it feel like to have a book that you've finally gotten together and finally have in your hands?
It's strange because it's something you've been um how long have you been writing your book?
Uh, Technically 23 years. So,
Okay, so years. I mean, it's something that you've put so much time and thought into, and you kind of picture this day for a long time. And like there's this giant build up to it, and it is very exciting and it feels really good. I would say more so when I wrote the last line of my draft one, I sobbed. It was like that moment of like, I did it. You know what I mean? But as far as publication day went, getting everything uploaded into like Amazon and Barnes and Noble and like all of these like hubs that you're trying to upload the manuscript and the cover and all that stuff. That was the only time I wanted to quit. It was it was so awful. By the time I got to public, it was like I was just relieved. And then like I had this like, and I've talked to other creatives in like the film industry. They have this as well, where there's like this crash afterwards that not a lot of people talk about because you've had this giant buildup and then you have this monumental moment, and then things must there's a balance, and so you kind of like have this low on the other side where you're like, it's weird. There's like a weird like almost like mourning phase afterwards. It's still very exciting, but it's not, it was unexpected.
mhm. I
Yeah.
know what you're feeling. So like this is my fantasy novel debut, but it's not. I'm not. I've been published before. We have a horror short story horror
Yes.
anthology
Yes.
series called Tall Tales and Campfire Ashes. So like I've been up there with that. Like we're at the mountaintop. We've gotten everything
Mhm.
done, and also the struggles between Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. I very
Mhm.
clearly know that struggle, because that is not fun.
Yeah.
That What worked at Amazon doesn't work in Barnes and Noble,
Yeah.
so you can't understand why they're not working. Like
And they don't
I
make
had
play nice. Like,
No, they really don't, because like everything works perfectly in Amazon. I was just like, okay, cool. My ebook looks fine. There's nothing wrong. And then I put it into Barnes and Noble. I'm like, what is this gibberish?
mhm.
Why is everything completely like I took days to format this book and everything was fine, and now it's not fine anymore. I don't understand, and you want to cry
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
I definitely remember that day of getting the book in my hand and finally having the book, and you're just like, "Whew, everything's
yeah.
happy." And then it publishes, and I do feel that lull, that lull
Mhm.
once everybody you've gotten all the books out and everything, like um turning into a conversation. Like that's how our conversations always are. My viewers are just like, this feels like it's turning into a conversation more than about the book. That's how our interviews always go. I want them to feel like
Yeah.
a conversation and not necessarily an interview. But yeah, I
Yeah.
understand that lull at the end where it's just like, man, the book's out. Now what?
Yeah. And then there's also like, it's a moment of there is no return. You cannot go back. Like there's a big difference between writing your first book where you don't have a lot of eyes on you yet. Nobody's expecting anything. Nobody's waiting. I mean, some people are excited that you've got your trope maps and it sounds cool, but like there is a big difference. And like, I don't feel like you can ever quite get that back of like, it's almost like a secret, like it's mine and it's protected. Whereas like now, book two, I have like people eager for it. I am like, there's a little bit more pressure. It's not just my story anymore. Like
Mhm.
it's different.
I feel that because I need book two.
Yeah.
I need book two, and while I've been writing book one, I've been writing book two. So the reason why it's taken 23 years, and I've said this in other places. So like again, I'm old. So way back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was writing on what's called a zip disk. Zip disks are basically just like large fat hard drives or hard disks, floppy disks, and you could put significantly more on a zip disk. And that's what I was doing. I was writing and saving things for the zip disk. And then the zip disk corrupted
Oh no.
23 chapters into the book.
Oh no.
And then once that went through, I tried to rewrite the book and I couldn't. And I was just like, I hate life.
Yeah.
And then I stopped writing for 19 years. I
Oh no.
Yeah, I did not write again for 19 years. And then
Wow.
one of my author friends, her name is Justina Michaels, sorry, yes, Justina Michaels. I was like, wait, did I just out her not pen name? um, Justina Michaels is a romance author, but like she loves horror and stuff like that. And we were part of a cosplay team. That's why it says Team Ashen, not just Ashen. So we were doing a cosplay team and we are talking about writing, and she was like, hey, we should just start doing horror because I want to do some horror. I want to branch out and do things. So we came up with our podcast where we tell each other ghost stories and then learn the lore and the legends that bring them to life. And then through that writing, I was like, I kind of rediscovered how much I love writing. And I was like, let me give Grayscale another try.
I'm
And then
glad.
it came very easily. I was able to kind of remember how the book went through and piece through together. And then obviously, as being a better writer than I was 20 years ago, I was able to structure the book a lot differently and
Mhm.
get it out. And I remember that feeling like once the last line of the epilogue was written, you were just like, there's like
Mhm.
it's like it's a weight. It's very much a
Yeah.
weight on your shoulders, and it just kind of floats away. And it was so I feel you on the ups and downs of getting your debut out there. So you are a romantasy writer. Do you plan on doing anything outside of romantasy, or are you going to live in the world of romance?
Uh, for now, I'm living in the world of romance. I do also really love horror. I don't know if I'll branch out into it too soon. I feel like I have too many things on my docket. I have to do book two and three. And then also, part of the reason I'm a little bit slow on book two is I have also been writing two books at once. So
You're an
it
author.
just
I would think you're kind of weird if you were just like, no, I'm only writing the one book and nothing
Mhm.
else. There's
Yeah,
no other work in progresses at all. I'm like,
I'm
that's
so
weird.
committed. No, I wish I could remember who this was, but they were talking about treating your whip as like an affair. And I was like, this other whip that I have is like, because I'm like not talking about it. It's like a secret. I like go to it when I can't think on this book. I go to the other one. Like,
You
I
were
was like,
carrying
it
on a
makes a
double
lot of
life.
sense. Yeah.
You're like, I need to go talk to my other wife now. I'll be right back.
Hmm.
Shh. Don't
Yeah.
just pretend I'm here. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what else you get. But some people love staying in one genre. Some people love it. Some people can't. My brain is too chaotic to stay in one spot, but I do love fantasy. So like a
Hmm.
lot of what I'll be writing will be fantasy. But also I love my short story horror because I view them as like writing exercises. So like, let's see how I can write this kind of thing, and I think that's kind of helped my writing a lot.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
So how long have you been writing? Is this something that you picked up recently, or is it one of those things where it's just like I've been writing my entire life and then just kind of got together and decided, well, we'll get a book.
I am not an entire life writer. I enjoyed writing in school and stuff, but I can't say I'm one of those that grew up saying I wanted to write books one day. Um, I've always loved reading. I'd say I'm more in that boat. The people that always loved reading, and then I was like, I have this story in my head and I need to get it out.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Mhm.
hated writing in school.
Oh,
I hated writing in school,
and
and
you love it now.
I hated reading in school also. It's like I hated being compelled to do something that I didn't want to
Mhm.
do. And now I love it, obviously. Like I love reading, like I inhale books and I love writing, but it was one of those things where I hated it's like, what, you want me to tell you a story, but what if I don't want to tell a story? Oh, you're going to fail me if I don't? I hate you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
that. I understand that feeling a lot. Again, this is something that you've been able to do on your own because you're an indie author. Take us through some of the struggles of getting the book together in itself, not necessarily the writing aspect, but like a lot of people don't realize the back end things that go along with indie authors, because again, most people are just like, oh, here's a book, it just
Mhm.
magically got here. A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of work that goes into a book. So give me some of the struggles, that maybe some of the unique things that caused you problems getting out to market, and go from there.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things, especially with your first one, and I think probably the next few, is you're still just teaching yourself a lot of things. And you don't know what you don't know until you know it. And so you think in your mind, like, okay, like, let's say I finished my draft, and then I'm like, okay, I just need to edit it, and then I can upload it, right? But no, like, you still have to format it. And I had to, like, I didn't know how to do that. And then I had to decide, do I need to teach myself, or am I going to fork over some money and get a software? Like, you know, there's always that decision of like, do I teach myself or do I fork over some more money? Like, and then like, how much do you give? You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably one of the biggest struggles that we always face, is just there's always some more money that you could spend. I also didn't, and those of you that read the physical book, I don't have like chapter images, like I don't have chapter header images. I don't have the little dinkus. I don't have any of that because I don't know. I was just so excited about my book. I didn't even think about it. And then it's out there and I'm like, oh, I didn't do any of that. But it's fine.
That's
um,
fine. There's nothing.
it's
We don't need that. That's just one of the. That's the special edition thing. You
yeah.
get the special edition. You'll be able to do all the little bells and whistles that you want to do before. But I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
I
then, you've got your acknowledgments page and stuff like that, which is really humbling when you get to it, but it's just that takes more time. And as we said, just getting those platforms to cooperate with uploading is probably the biggest struggle that I faced. You got to buy your ISBNs. Yeah, just I think the biggest thing that has helped me navigate this stuff is finally finding my circle of writer friends who can say, oh, you need to do this, or oh, don't do that. Like, because for a while you're just kind of floating around by yourself, and it's difficult.
it is. I've managed to luck into a couple of writers that like we have a couple writers on Twitch that I talk to. Like Dead by Daylight is my main game that we play, and several streamers that are also authors. Hannah Gordon is that violin chick is a writer, and like I've been able to talk to a lot of people. There's actually a small like group of writers that are happen to be Dead by Daylight streamers, and I was like, oh wait, we're going to be friends now. This is our friend group. And
Yes, you need it.
yeah, and then through that, some of the people that we bumped into, and then I start talking, and it was just like, hey, I'll raid into a channel. I don't know how much you know about Twitch or things like that, but like you can raid into a channel where you basically take your community and send it to another community to start talking. And then it was just like, well, what were you doing today? And we would kind of get a rundown of what was going on. And then every now and then it'd be like, oh, well, we were just talking about books, and things are like, oh, books, what are you books? And I was just like, oh, you're a reader. And then suddenly it's that thing where it's just like, you're my new best friend.
Yes. Yes.
and we've definitely looked into that, and some of those people have become my alpha readers, and then will eventually become my beta readers and things. So like, it's very, I think I am 100% in agreement with you that like finding your group
Mhm.
is a very essential thing that I don't think anybody really talks about.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear all these people talking about like your author tips and stuff like that, I don't think I've ever really heard of anybody like find friends. Like,
Yeah.
find
You
writer
need them.
friends.
Well, and people talk, okay, here's another struggle. You hear people talk about getting thick enough skin to take feedback, and which is very important. I feel like there's a difference between you hit that point where you have the thick skin and you can take constructive feedback. But then there is like a next level that you have to get to where you learn which ones to take and which ones to ignore. So there's like this period of time between there where you're getting all this feedback and you think everyone's right. And you're like, oh, well, I did do that wrong, maybe. And then you
Mhm.
kind of like, so there's, you know, especially us indies, we are teaching ourselves. We're still learning. And then, like with the Curse of the Siren, I did not have a community yet. I had to pay beta readers to rip my manuscript apart. And now I have a critique partner group that will happily rip it apart for me. And I, it's great. I love it. Yeah.
Mhm. Those are really important. I've run into a couple writer groups. That someone that I found through Twitch, and we're like, oh, I'll help you do this. We have a writer critique partner. Have you ever been to this store? I'm like, that that store has my book in it. I was just like, they're like, no way. And I was just like, yeah, look, I'll take a picture of it and show it to you. And she's like, I'm at that store every Thursday. That's where our critique people are meet. And I was like, okay, we're going to be friends now.
Yeah.
Last minute things here and there. We do want to appreciate you. We do love that you came out and you were able to give us your time and hang out with us and talk about your book. What do you want to say to end things out? Like, what do you have coming up here? Like, I know summertime is something we can expect. Curse of the Siren, the second book, and things like that. But like, what do you want to know? This is your platform. Let us know what you need to do, and all of that fun stuff.
Okay, awesome. First, I'm so happy and grateful that you guys wanted to read my book and that you enjoyed it. I'm happy to be here. And yes, this summer we can look forward to book two, which I'm very excited about. Um, and Bronwyn's going to steal some more things. We love more thieving. We need more
I was going
thieving.
to steal some more things.
My secret project that I'm also working with on the side, I will tell you, has more of like sword and sorcery, like old school, like sorcerer type vibes. So we're going that direction with less like fae and more kings and sorcerers. So
Okay.
also something to look forward to probably at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good, guys. Again, this is S.E. Nielsen. This is The Curse of the Siren right here. Look, this book. It's awesome. It's actually a really pretty book too, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
like
you.
the cover. I saw the cover. I'm like, oh, the cover's so pretty. Right there. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles also.
Yes, it is on Barnes and Noble also.
So if you hate Jeff Bezos, like a lot of people do, you can find it on Barnes and Nobles,
Yes.
things like that. I appreciate you being here. I hope you had a good time. We'd love to have you back
Yeah,
sometime this late summer or early fall to talk about your second book,
that
and
sounds great.
see if you hurt us or not, because like you didn't. Oh, you did hurt us. You did hurt us towards the end, because there's a character that hurt me, and that made me sad, and I don't want to talk about it because it's some spoilers, but like, you know what you did to us.
I
You
do.
know.
I'm sorry.
You know. You. That person right there. You did it. You know what you did. I just made a TikTok about that, or where somebody accused me, and I was rightly, obviously. They accused me. They're like, you authors, you enjoy ripping our hearts out. And then she like specifically tagged me. She was like, I've seen you laugh at us and laugh when you kill off a character. And I was like, absolutely. We
Hmm.
enjoy causing pain, because if we hurt you, that means we wrote a good, compelling story.
Yes.
If you feel nothing walking away from our book, we wrote a shitty book.
Yeah.
So the fact that like we hurt you, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's the only time when that's acceptable. It's the only time in our life where it's acceptable for just to hurt people on purpose. Like we
And
should
they
never
come
do that.
back on purpose.
Exactly. They go back on purpose. We're terrible people, but it's okay. Guys, we appreciate you being here. Thank you, S.E. Nielsen, for coming in. We're grateful for you coming in, and we can't wait to talk to you again in the near future. We wish you all the success in the world. We hope that this book goes far and wide, so that way the next time you're here, we can be like, look, this famous person is back. They still like us.
That's great. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
If your book was turned into a movie or show, who would you cast? Oh, we're
Ooh,
getting the
okay,
fan
so
casting already? Okay.
I actually frequently would look at Florence Pugh for Bronwyn, which like I know like her
Okay.
coloring is like a little different, but like just like
Look,
she's
wigs
like
exist. We're fine. Just like we can.
yes. But I don't know, like I just like her, like she's like very like powerful and like sure
Mhm.
of herself and like I guess I like girl crush on her a little bit, but she's got like she's strong but still soft and feminine. I don't know, I just think that she's would be perfect for her.
I loved her in Hawkeye, and
Yes.
she was she I she was very like like very like deadly, but at the same time very like fun, and
Hmm.
and and it's like why she was like I could kill you if I need to, but why do you have one fork in your in your house? Why do you have one fork in your apartment? She was like, I
Uh-huh.
eat alone. It was just like, but only one fork. Why? it's it was very like I love her in Hawkeye, and I haven't seen her in much else. I know there's a lot of things that I need to watch her in, but yeah, that's a fantastic answer. Where else would you go though? Like who else you got?
Um, so I look at a lot of inspo of like what is his name? Aiden Turner for like August.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of oohs and ahs. They're like ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Oh
fantastic.
goodness. Okay, I actually have one too. So
Oh,
Luke,
we
we all know
unlocked
who
her.
Luke. What?
I said as soon as you went, you're like, actually, I was like, oh, we unlocked her. We're good. We
Yes.
got.
While I was writing Luke's character, I was picturing like old school James Dean, which is like, but like I was trying to like pull his like energy a little bit, which I know we can't use
Okay.
him, but
I mean, David Franco, I think, has that kind of like look to
yes,
him.
yeah,
He has like a James
yeah,
Dean look. Because I would say
hmm
like James Franco, but James Franco's starting to get up there in age. And I'm not saying he's an old person, but like when you're looking at an unchanging Fey person of 1,000 years, you kind of picture a younger character.
yeah,
So I would go like David Franco, which kind of has the
yeah,
same look to James, but also I think it looks a little bit more like James Dean,
yeah.
kind
That's
of
a
thing.
great call. Yeah, yeah.
Rose is like, oh no, Luke.
So
we
you
had
know
we
JD. JD loves
Yes.
Luke.
What?
She
We
loves
can't
him.
we can't tell JD that we can't have her on when book 2 of Smoke and Mirrors comes out, because
Okay, well, also
I
like her book, Smoke and Mirrors, she's got Soul, you know Soul.
mhm.
When I talk to her, I call him Daddy Soul.
Oh no. Yeah, Rose is like, did we read the same book? Well, she wrote the book, so yeah, we know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. She's dead. Oh, yeah, like it. I can't believe JD likes Luke. Oh,
Oh, she
wow,
loves him.
wow,
You should
JD.
ask her.
I'm going to now. I'm going to text her. I'm like, hey, we just had it. We just had your buddy on here, and she informed us that you like Luke.
I informed the masses.
Didn't JD hurt me more? No, JD. No. Well, see, here's the thing. So they're very different books between JD's book and SE's book. Those are very different books.
Yeah.
Smoke and Mirrors hurt me on a different level, but Smoke and Mirrors also had more annoying characters to me, but like obviously on purpose. But like
Mhm.
so there was a lot of characters in Smoke and Mirrors that got their way that I hated more So those characters hurt my soul on a different level. Whereas in Curse of the Sirens, there's still a lot of upside. Like the good guys are still in a pretty good footing. We might be going in a very bad direction in book 2, but there's still at least some solid footing. Where in JD's book, there's not. Like JD's book,
Right.
we're like, so if here's the mountain in book 2 of SC's book, we're like right here. Like
Mhm.
there's not like Bronwyn's not in like mortal danger at the moment. Like there's a
Right.
lot of things. So August is not like dead or something like
Mhm.
that. Whereas like so like book here, JD, we're starting like here. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad shit that happened in her book at the end of book 1. So like we're
Yeah.
starting way much lower as he's here, top of the mountain here. So like there are definitely things in Curse of the Sirens that hurt, but we're at a different place.
Yeah.
We're a different place. But yeah, I get that. So that's that books hurt us in different ways.
They do.
Like
It's good.
they definitely hurt us in different ways, because like we can always talk about a book that has hurt us um on purpose, and that's Lola. Like we got Megan Lally. We talk about this book. We read this book last year, and it still hurts us because the plot twist, easily one of the most painful plot twists I've ever had, and it was just like to this day it haunts us.
Oh,
It does. But again, guys, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for the questions, by the way. Those were fun questions. But again, guys, if you have not read it already, Curse of the Siren is here. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, or her personal site if you would like to get your own copies. Like I said, you're more than welcome to stick in the Discord and throw any of your promotions in our author section. You guys, you're awesome. I appreciate you being here, guys. Give her another round of applause. We appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much, SC Nielsen, for coming in and sharing all of your thoughts with us. We appreciate you.
well, thank you very much.
We'll catch you next time, guys.